If I was to say to you guys, name me an action camera brand, you know, I think I'd probably put money on the company that you would say, and that is of course GoPro. I mean, they're pretty much everywhere, and they've made some, you know, amazing little action cameras over the years. Well, today they've announced the new GoPro HERO7 lineup. Now, obviously I'm saying lineup because it's not just one camera, but there's 3 new cameras. I've got the GoPro HERO7 Black with me. I've got this for about a week. This is the headline camera of the 3. I've got this for a week. I'm going to be sort of just taking it around, documenting what I get up to. I'm currently here in the lovely Delamere Forest to do a bit of mountain biking. But I'm basically just going to show you some of the footage that this thing can shoot, and also some of the stills whilst telling you about the headline features. Now, a lot of this video is going to concentrate on this camera, but don't worry, I'll still talk about the other 2. So at the end of this video, you'll be able to make an informed decision whether or not you want to go for the flagship, which is clearly the best one because it's the flagship and it's got it's got most of the new and cool features that GoPro have released, or if the other spec is going to be fine for your needs. So without further ado, let's take a look at those cameras. Okay, so a small white lie, I don't actually have the 2 other cameras. However, I have seen them and I've had a quick play with them. Now, the 3 models are called white, silver and black. And of course they go in order of how advanced they are, and with that also the price tag. Now, all of the models are waterproof up to 10 meters, feature a rear touchscreen where you can view what you're shooting and also control all the parameters of the camera, can be controlled using voice commands,
GoPro, start recording,
and use the same app on your smartphone. Both the white and silver models don't feature the front LCD screen that you see here on the black, and they also have a slightly different sensor, which is a 10 megapixel sensor. Now, in terms of recording, the white can only record 1080p video at up to 60 frames per second, whilst the silver ups it to 4K at up to 30 frames a second. The silver also has built-in GPS, which I'll go into a bit more on the black edition. So now we're all up to speed, let's look at the HERO7 Black's headline features. Now, unlike the other 2 cameras, the black houses a 12 megapixel sensor and can record at up to 4K at 60 frames a second, so twice the frame rate of the silver. So now you can easily capture 2 times slow motion in 4K UHD. But if that is not enough, you can shoot in 2.7K, then you can go up to 120 frames a second. And if you wanted an even more exaggerated slow motion look, you can drop down to 1080p and get up to 8 times slow motion, shooting at 240 frames per second. Now, all of these high-speed examples that I'm showing you have been shot in a rather challenging and very unforgiving environment. You know, not just for the GoPro, but for any camera of that matter when you're doing high-speed shoots. You know, there's lots and lots of detail going on in the snow there's movement, and of course it's very, very dimly lit. And unfortunately, when you're working with the smaller sensors that you find in GoPros, and of course the amount of data and bit rate that they've got to capture these high frame rates, you are going to get a significant loss in quality. So for me, I've always found that to get the best image out of the GoPro, you really do need to be shooting normal speed in an environment that's preferably outdoors with lots and lots of natural light. Because as soon as you get into a low light environment, then you are going to have some issues. And of course, all of this has just come from the camera so that you can see the limitations. Now, moving away from video for a second, of course that 12 megapixel sensor is going to give you a bit more resolution to play with when it comes to the stills side of things. And with the black, you've also got the ability to record the raw image files too. I actually think that the stills from the black look pretty decent. No, it's probably not going to replace your dedicated stills camera, but for something small, durable and compact, you know, ideal for when you're trekking, traveling or doing something fun, it's actually a pretty fun tool to use, and of course you can still push and pull those image files in post due to the RAW. Now for one of the most exciting developments, something GoPro are calling Hypersmooth. And basically, with the aid of an inbuilt accelerometer and some clever stabilisation algorithms, you can capture some pretty smooth gimbal-like footage, of course without the gimbal. And I've got to say, I think it does work really well. Now just look at that rocky hiking trail. I'm literally just walking, holding the GoPro in my hand, and you can see how smooth the results are. Off the back of this tech, you also get a hyperlapse and time warp mode, where you can create some smooth motion time lapses, something that we're seeing much more of now. Something to note though is that when you are using Hypersmooth, there is around a 10% cropping on the sensor to allow for that stabilisation. And also, it's not available on all the frame rates for each recording resolution. and I suspect that's probably due to the amount of processing power needed when dealing with the higher frame rates. It just might not be possible to do both in a camera of this size and at this sort of price point. And of course, I've already mentioned it, but the whole camera is controlled, of course, by the LCD touchscreen on the back. It's from here that you can control all aspects of the camera. And even though it's relatively small, it's surprisingly easy to use. And for you Instagram fans out there, you'll be pleased to know that if you turn the GoPro, you can shoot it in portrait mode. And if you want to take that one step further, you can upload it directly to Instagram right from within the GoPro app.
Okay, so before I wrap up, there are two more features that I want to talk to you guys about. Now, I'm unfortunately filming this before this has been announced, which means that I don't have the newly updated GoPro app. And weeks ago when I met with GoPro, that was something that they really wanted to push, was the seamless sort of integration between GoPro and your smartphone, which of course I can't show you unfortunately. But anyway, there are two main features that I want to talk about that are quite exciting that you can do with the app. Now, like I mentioned, the silver and the black versions have GPS built in, which means that obviously you can track your location, but it can also track your movements and the speed of those movements. Now, cool thing is, GoPro have made these things called performance stickers. So for example, if I film myself going down a ski run from start to finish, I then go into the GoPro app, that video transfers automatically to the app, and then I can overlay different various performance stickers. Basically, for example, like a speed dial, and that speed dial will go up and down and tell the speed whatever I'm doing at that time in the video, which is quite cool. So it's something quite fun if you're just uploading straight to sort of social media. Now the second one, which is the first that any GoPro can do, this feature, is live streaming, which is crazy. Basically what you'll be able to do is you connect this obviously again to your phone using the GoPro app, and you'll then be able to live stream directly from the GoPro straight to Facebook. And of course that will eventually be opened up to other popular live streaming providers. Now don't forget that obviously there are lots of third-party accessories available for the GoPro. So all of a sudden you've got, a portable streaming solution that pretty much both fits into your pocket. And the cool thing is the GoPro Black will also be able to record a high-res version onto the SD card. So once you've gone live, etc., once the show's finished, you can replace it with the 4K version as opposed to whatever compression it's going to be going to Facebook. It's quite exciting to think hopefully one day GoPro will be able to figure out a way where you can connect multiple GoPro HERO7 Blacks to the one smartphone, and then you could do a multi-camera live stream with something that can fit in your pocket. That's just crazy. But anyway, I know there's been a lot of information, a lot of specs, so I'm just going to bring up the spec sheet again so you can see the differences, what we've covered between the white, silver and the black. Now, I've enjoyed my time shooting with the HERO7 Black. I think for me, this would be the one that I would go for out of the other two. But of course, I'm not just saying that because obviously I work for a retailer and this is the most expensive one and I want you guys to buy it. No, that's not what it is. There's actually one big spec difference between this one and the other two cameras. And that is that this one is the only one with a removable battery and HDMI output. So if you're going to be using this for professional gigs, or you're covering action sport where you're going to be out for the full day, or maybe you're just doing something yourself where you don't want to be tied to just having that one internal battery, then this one is a must. Anyway guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you've got any questions, please do just pop them in the comments. I'll try and get back to you. And if you haven't done so already, then please do hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with all of our future content. Thank you very much for watching.